Guess what? God keeps his promises. Can I just say that again right now? God keeps his promises. You may have heard something many years before where you heard him say something to you and you knew it was him and it was unmistakable, but maybe for a year now it has seemed so silent and you're not sure what's going on. I want to remind you that God will keep his promises. You can be sure of what you believe, and you can be sure that he will finish what he started. We know the scriptures of how God, he who began a good work, will be faithful to complete it. But let me remind you of a verse that you may not have heard of before, but it's from Isaiah chapter 45. And I love this because this is so raw and so real that God is speaking maybe to you today. In Isaiah 45, verse 18 and 19, it says, "For the Lord is God. He created the heavens and the earth and put everything in place. He made the world to be lived in, not to be a place of empty chaos. I am the Lord," he says, "and there is no other. I publicly proclaim bold promises. I do not whisper obscurities in some dark corner. I would not have told the people of Israel to seek me if I could not be found. I, the Lord, speak only what is true and declare only what is right." Think about what we just heard, that God wouldn't have made promises if he wasn't committed to be all in and see it through. You might be in a situation right now and you're not sure exactly what's going to be happening tomorrow. You might not be sure what's going to be happening next year. 5-year plan. What about a 5-day plan, right? And so let me remind you that God will keep his promise. Let me remind you that what he has put into your heart, he will be faithful to finish. And the waiting is really difficult, but the waiting is what's possibly going to make you strong enough to take you past that finish line of whatever promise, whatever vision, whatever dream he put into your heart. And so this is not a bunch of empty promises that I'm telling you today. I'm reminding you, and based out of my own experiences, that God will keep his promises. If you think about Adult and Teen Challenge, and you think about the promises that God put into David Wilkerson when he first crossed that bridge into Manhattan in New York City in 1957 or 1958, God gave him some promises. God gave him a vision. And then so many decades later, so many of us have been impacted by that promise that God put into his heart, that vision that one day there was going to be a place of safety, that there was going to be a place of victory, there was going to be a shared space where people that are walking from death to life, that they would walk together and they would support each other. And God kept his promise to David Wilkerson. God kept his promise to the prophet Isaiah. God kept his promise to so many people throughout history. Why would he not keep his promise to you? Can I ask you again, why would he not keep his promise to you? And so today, when you are reflecting on that, when you are thinking about what you feel in your heart, he has maybe spoken to you years ago, and maybe you feel discouraged about it. Maybe you feel as though giving up on that promise that has happened to you. Remember that he doesn't renege on his promises. You might have had a lot of relationships, a lot of people that have backed out of what they have promised to you, or they have double-crossed you, and you thought and expected something, but they didn't follow through. God will always follow through, and he'll be there for you, helping you, not just waiting for you at the finish line, but helping you to cross it with excellence so that you can go to the next chapter and start something else and a new vision with a new promise. So have a wonderful weekend, and remember that he will keep his promises. And just like he keeps his promises, we have the privilege of keeping the promises that we give to others as well. So receive that today and know that he is with you and he's walking with you. Have a great weekend.